I wanted some answers. I wanted some help.
Leanne Walters is boiling over the water flowing into her home.
I contacted Virginia Tech to see if they would be willing to do independent testing for my home, and they did.
Those tests revealed high levels of lead in her water, and she asked the students and faculty at Virginia Tech to go beyond her home and test hundreds of spots throughout the city.
Every zip code came back with a problem with lead.
This is not a problem that's unique to the city of Flint. Many Midwestern cities are facing lead concerns.
Director of Public Works Howard Croft says the city's water just became back in compliance with the Safe Drinking Water Act, and now this issue is raising even more concerns that are being addressed. Mayor Dane Walling drafting a letter to Governor Snyder asking for $30 million to upgrade the city's struggling water system, $10 million of which will be used to remove lead pipes. He came before City Council tonight to get his letter endorsed, and that's when Walters cornered the mayor before walking in.
Are you asking for the replacement to be city side only, or is that including what it's going to cost the citizens as well?
Both. That's why I called it Healthy Homes.
Okay.
Because there's been a lot of dollars spent over the years on lead paint, especially weatherization. So this would be a similar effort that would extend to indoor plumbing as well as service lines.
Pleased with the mayor's response, Walters hopes the governor grants the mayor's request and her elected leaders fix the problem sooner than later.
I would like for them to start being honest, and I would like for them to realize that there is a problem, and instead of being a hindrance, to start working together like they should be as our representatives.
We're sick and tired of being mistreated, and we want fresh, clean water, and we want it from the best source.
The cost of Flint City Water took the back seat tonight.
Somebody hasn't been telling us the truth.
As the alarming water quality report released by Virginia Tech University claimed center stage.
There's no part of the city that is immune from this problem.
Tonight, nearly 200 people listened to Virginia Tech professor Mark Edwards as he laid out his serious concerns with the city's water. Edwards says several tests of Flint homes turned up lead levels that far exceed EPA standards.
This is why it's something we think should be taken seriously and that folks need to take steps to protect themselves.
Edwards says the city turning to Flint River water from Detroit has caused underground pipes to corrode, aging the system significantly. But even more concerning, he says those lead particles are entering the water going into homes. He questions why city and state tests did not detect the high levels before, and so do residents.
Why would they lie? Why would they do cheating tests? Why would they hold back information?
And tonight, the ACLU is also asking that question.
That there should be an independent outside investigation looking into exactly what the city did in order to be able to claim that this water is safe when it's not.
It makes me want to cry because it's such a blessing to know that people really care.
Thanks to a caring company, hundreds of people are receiving free bottled water. Today, Absopure teamed up with TV5 to donate more than 80 cases of water to Catholic Charities North End Soup Kitchen. Gloria Wade is a cook at the Soup Kitchen, thrilled to see our surprise.
The people in this area need it so badly, so it's great, and there's no way to thank them enough.
Luckily, there were plenty of volunteers to drop cases on a conveyor belt and pile them up one at a time.
A lot of people just don't get this type of help for free. So be able to get the water and be able to share it with their children and not have any issues until this thing gets cleared up, I think is a great peace of mind for everybody involved.
North End provides meals to those in need every day of the year, but since Flint's water woes began, the Soup Kitchen hasn't had the budget to buy bottled water. Director of Community Services John Mann says he's now looking forward to handing out bottles along with meals.
Anytime you have a business that gives back like that, that's a wonderful thing. And we already have the captured audience. We have the people coming here, so to be able to bring it here and be able to distribute it, it's going to be great. So we can't wait.
Kind of makes me feel like I'm living in a third world country.
Medically, it's unacceptable.
To say the city of Flint has problems with its drinking water, according to residents, would be an understatement.
It's getting ridiculous, and I'm paying top dollar for something I can't use.
Maggie Kagan is a single mother of 5. who feels the state of Flint's water supply is a health emergency. And now a doctor from Hurley Medical Center is demanding it be addressed immediately.
It's something that has needed to be said for a long time. It's not nothing new.
What is new, at least to Dr. Mona Hanna Atisha, is the presence of lead in the city's drinking water.
This is something that is preventable. This is something that causes lifelong problems.
Today at a news conference at Hurley Medical Center, doctors, the Genesee County Health Department, and experts urged expectant mothers and new mothers of infants not to drink unfiltered tap water or use it to mix baby formula, because they say the levels of lead in certain neighborhoods have more than doubled since the city tapped its own water supply. Residents we spoke with tonight, quite frankly, are tired about hearing what's wrong with their water. They want to know when it's going to be safe for everyone.
You can keep saying it's a problem, but if you don't come up with a solution, then it doesn't make sense.
Cynthia Howell is one of those residents who says enough is enough. It's time for a solution. One proposed solution at today's news conference switched the water supply back to Detroit. Flint Mayor Dane Walling says switching the water supply alone still doesn't address the city's aging infrastructure.
We have to work long term to get those lines replaced and eliminate this threat to childhood lead poisoning.
For residents, they don't want to ignore the long-term needs of the city, but they wonder if there will be any relief in the short term.
We have to be able to drink and bathe in the water that we are buying.
I'm glad to see them finally in here, but I feel it's a little bit late.
Water, clean water, clean water, clean
Janet Berryman is one of just a handful of protesters that flooded the outside of Freeman Elementary with noise, as officials from the DEQ tested the drinking water inside.
The damage has already been done to our children, to our elderly, to our residents.
Freeman is one of 3 locations evaluated within the Flint City Schools that produced high levels of lead in its drinking water.
Lead is a very serious issue, and it's something that we're very concerned about. That's why we're in this elementary school today, to make sure that the students here have safe drinking water.
Karen Tomasulo is a public information officer for the state of Michigan. Today's health screening is being done as a #1 mandate from Governor Snyder.
This is the top priority for everybody.
Licensed plumbing crews, along with water experts, conducted some comprehensive tests on the water at Freeman Elementary to lessen the levels of contamination.
Test every drinking fountain, and then they're taking multiple samples at each fountain to make sure that they're getting a picture of what sits in the fountain.
Karen, I'm sure the governor, as well as yourself, can understand there are people in this community that do not trust the current administration. They don't feel like there's been any transparency when it has come to lead and water here. What are we doing to fix this problem?
We know that there's a lot of concerns. We know that there were some errors in regulatory enforcement, how that was taken care of. That's something we're working to correct.
I don't think we can ever gain trust with the administration, because you have to look at it. They don't even know where the lead lines are.
I don't think I will ever trust them. I don't care what they say, what they tell us. I'm not going to believe them.
As we stand here in the library of Freeman Elementary, it is quite obvious that Flint continues to get an education when it comes to water. The final evaluation will be whether that water will be lead-free and clean. At Freeman Elementary, Ronnie Duncan, WNEM TV 5.
Governor Rick Snyder says the Flint water crisis is a low point this year.
What are we going to do about this Flint water situation?
Well, let's keep improving. And I think we have taken a lot of constructive action steps. I mean, it was a problem you wish never happened.
Flint children found to have elevated lead levels, a problem that has been attributed to the city switching its water source to corrosive Flint River water, a problem many people blame directly on the governor's office and the emergency manager he appointed.
People are saying that the state is to blame, including your name. What's your reaction to that?
Well, again, people bring lawsuits for many reasons, and again, I can't really comment if it's in litigation.
Though he wouldn't comment on that, he did say it's too early to place blame, and he has a panel working to get to the bottom of it.
People speculate a lot, but in many cases it's not based on what the facts really are, and I appreciate this group working hard to get the facts.
The governor says the state has helped fund the switch back to Detroit water and has offered up resources to the people of Flint. He also says he supports Mayor Karen Weaver's state of emergency declaration seeking federal funds. And as he waits for those results, to the north, a $130 billion merger of Dow Chemical and DuPont. It's yet to be seen what this means, but the governor says he's hoping the company stays local.
We want to see the combined entity do really well and hopefully select Michigan for continuing growth.
And another big issue, especially with the presidential campaigns heating up, is immigration. He talked about his perceived shift in position.
I thought it appropriate to say, let's not stop the pipeline we have currently coming, but let's pause before we dramatically expand programs to make sure are we doing everything possible within reason to make sure we're striking that right balance.